What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a great day. It is the weekend. It is a cold and dreary weekend, and I'm in the dark shop because these LED lights are not like what they said they would be. That left side I only have one LED strip still working, but I still have stuff I gotta do. So, what I'm gonna work on this weekend is I want to be able to get this truck underneath that lift. I want to have both of my daily driver and my forever car to both be on that side of the garage. So when I do my measurements, so I put a square on top. It's basically level. Extend my tape measure. So I am roughly 71 inches to the roof line. Now, if I go over to the lift and I take basically the same measurement, I am roughly 70 inches. So I literally have 1 inch that makes this not fit underneath here. Yes, I would have to remove the ramps, and that might be a little bit pain in the butt. But it also, the truck line curves. That's actually, what do you think that is? So that's 65 inches. So that's significantly. Either way, I think I would have to remove those ramps to get it in there. But you can also see that the front sits up higher than the back. So I'm telling you all this because my project here, I want to remove 2 springs up front and bring it down a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, take the wheel off, jack up the car. I think it needs new bushings anyway. And then take 1 or 2, this is a 3/4 ton. It's a D200. So I'm guessing I could take a small leaf or 2. I've heard every other and stuff like that. I'm just gonna play around with it and then see if I can get it to easily drop a couple inches, and then see if I can finally park this in the garage. So let's get at it. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves on here. And so I'm probably gonna take 1 or 2 out, leave 3. Got to remove those U-bolts, the one in the front and the one in the rear, support the axle. And then, where are they? I did buy some energy suspension, new bushings are supposed to fit, so we'll see. All right, so I got the U-bolts out. They weren't easy. I'm hoping the other side might be easier because it seems like that's where all the oil and grease goes. So hopefully that's not as corroded, but I've got a jack under the axle, and I'm taking that off and I'm noticing a separation here. So I'm like, well, I don't want to keep taking that screw off and then have this spring do something funny. So I'm going to put a C-clamp on this spring just to keep it down. I don't believe it's under a lot of pressure, but I don't want to find out if it's not. So my little brain started thinking, if I spin the bottom, like right now I have the bottom 3, so I'm basically cutting the springs in half. While it is still attached, I could put the wheel in, drop it down, and see what the ride height's going to be. If I take these springs off and put on new bushings and put it in, then if it's the wrong height, I got to go back and do this again. So I'm going to put the wheel on it, and I'm going to lower it down and see what, if I were to take 3, what it's going to do. All right, so wheels on, just got 2 lug nuts on it. Not going to go driving. Sorry, I'm jacking up the truck. I'm going to remove the floor jack. Then I'm going to lower the car. Hopefully when I hit it. Woo, that's too far. Okay. So, what does that do? Taking out, there's no shocks on it. That's probably why it's bouncing. Man, I really should have taken some measurements before I did this. But taking out those 2 springs, it brought it down quite a bit. But let me measure the other side. Okay, so I measured a couple times. It is not a significant difference. Not even like a ½ inch. So I watched a couple YouTube videos prior to this work, and there were some people that would flip the springs, and that probably is what needs to happen because, there's no weight on here, so some of these springs are still going back to their original form. So I'm glad I did this test because that was important to know. So I'm gonna have to flip one of the springs and bring this down to where I can make a 1 or 2 inch drop. I thought it was down probably 1 inch, but the tape measure says no. Okay, so spent a little time off camera. I replaced the bushings on there and there. So that's ready to go. And then I watched a couple YouTube videos, and I believe it's Roadbeard Garage is a Sweptline guy. And he did something like this, but he swapped that one as well and almost made it flat. And I'm wondering if I can get away with just doing the top one, because I really only want to drop it like 1 inch. I know it looks better lower, but I want something that I can just drive. I don't have to worry about rubbing or putting extra weight in the truck. And if my kids are going to drive the truck, then, trying to tell them to watch the turning radius and all that jazz, that doesn't work. So I'm just trying to get this under the garage and then take it from there. So I'm going to give this a shot and see what this does. So it's lowered. It's lowered quite a bit. It's lowered more than I thought. I still have these two, which I think are the ones that they add just for the 3/4 ton. I don't hate it. I love it, but I just am afraid it's not going to be as utilitarian. I'm sitting on the bump stops right now, but I run out of time. So I was doing some measurements. I think it might fit, which would be great to have it in the garage. Then I could just kind of work on it on the other side. So anywho, this is where I'm at right now. It sits higher in the back, of course. I might be able to raise it up just a little bit, but I don't know, I do like that. Anyway, moving on.